All of these times when you were thinking that you were wasting your life away on video games, now it really pays off because you will be able to break that procrastination habit, that procrastination consequence, to be more exact. You see, all of these beautiful experiences and many worlds that you visited in your video games, you will be able to use all of them into breaking this habit, into going and getting a better life for yourself. It's so easy, and you're not gonna believe how interesting it is and how you can develop all of these systems for yourself so you don't ever procrastinate. Not only that, but you will be able to feel like your life is so much more interesting. 10 times more interesting than it was just a few minutes ago, just a few hours ago. And it just keeps on becoming more interesting as you go. Because one of the most addicting things about video games is the leveling system and how it eases you in by giving you shorter levels at the beginning and then incrementally building up to longer and longer levels. So we have to break down the thing that we want to achieve, the thing that we are procrastinating towards, break it down into levels. And each minute that we spend equals to 1 minute of experience, to 1 point of experience. And you might say that is just stupid and simple. Sure, it is. But here comes the magic. Every morning, if you start before 12, every minute that you spend, you have the incentive of double experience. On the weekends, you have double experience. If you hit a number of hours daily, every minute after that number of hours is triple experience. Every day in a row builds to a 7 day when you get 5 times the experience. After you really done all of this work, you get more. But this experience would just mean nothing if you didn't have rewards at each level, having something of a reward. Just include those rewards. And just like in video games, sometimes the rewards are good, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're amazing, sometimes it's about the story and the mission. You can have missions. You can even transform budgeting into a game. If you play Don't Starve or any kind of survival games, instead of saying, I need to set aside $60 for my food this week, or $100 or $200 or whatever it is, instead of doing that, take even less and say, how many days can I survive with this? And start tracking everything. And you see how easy it is to just add a layer of complexity to the things. And you can start to have tinkering and experimenting and all these things and try to find new ways to add double the experience or all these kinds of incentives. And you have to have all of them. You have to have the experience system, you have to have the leveling system, you have to have the talents and the skill tree and all these kinds of things. And also the decision making, because you will, whenever you level up, you choose whether to go in one direction or the other direction. So you should also try to add that into your video games, into your life. Just try to add it. Just try to do that skill tree and decide when you level up. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I continue this path or on that path? And then you choose what you're going to do and you're going to put those points in. Also, have the loot, have the things for each mission, for each leveling. Have the reward be something. It doesn't have to be anything special. It can just be a new cover for your phone, whatever, some new socks, whatever it is, whatever you want. It can be anything. It can be big, it can be small, depending on what you are doing, how fast you are leveling. Make also incentives for leveling up faster. You get double the loot, you get double the things, you get more interesting things if you level up by this point. So you see, they're not deadlines. They are giving you something more if you do it faster. So you see, this way you have such a better strategy at life and you don't have to procrastinate anymore. You see, it's so much easier to build all of these things into your life than you can imagine. It's so important to see that even in video games, we do grueling work sometimes. And sometimes the reward is not even that big. And yet we do it because it's necessary to get to something more interesting. So you see, that's exactly what you're going to use. You're going to use all of these systems to do all of the things that you don't want to do, all of the things that you want to do, all of the story arcs that you want to live, all the adventure. All of these can just be translated in the things that you like. You can build all of these systems up and you will have a better experience of life. You will gain the experience that you need to level up, to get better, to do all of these beautiful things and never feel like you are procrastinating. Just a simple solution is to just give yourself, whenever you come back after a break, give yourself 3 times the experience. So you see, it's an incentive, but you also get an incentive if you keep it going for 7 days. You then get 5 times the experience. And then after a few hours of just working, and try to make it easier at first to do as much as possible and level up as fast as possible, and then do it harder and harder. And then when it starts to not really work, try to rework the system and have it so that you gain more and you do more. Try to switch the incentives around. Try to see what really works. And then you would really understand what kind of character you have. You will start to understand all of these things that are really making you tick, the things that work. Maybe you like numbers. Start tracking everything. Start doing things that really give you a lot of numbers, and you can build statistics. You can build all of these things. Everything that you've played until now can really fuel that beautiful motivation, that beautiful lust for life. And you will feel more alive because you're not only adding this leveling system, but a story arc to your character. Whenever you buy something, you can tell people, oh, it's when I reached level 20 and in this skill, I did this. So that thing becomes more valuable. Everything becomes more valuable because you have added this experience to it. You've added this way. That's why we get so addicted to video games. It's because they have all of these things combined. So you see, that's how you break the procrastination consequence.